I mean, when you are forced into situations from a very young age where you have no control and you're completely powerless, it only makes sense that that would be the thing that you seek.
Lola, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate this.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to me.
Honestly, Furious is it's everything. And your performance in this, I can't classify it anything else other than horrifyingly heartbreaking.
Wow,
Uh,
thank you.
it is because you feel for her name is Catherine. Am I saying
Yep.
that? It is Catherine. You feel for Catherine, but you never justify Catherine. What excited you to step into the role?
I think, it's a rarity to have these two characters who are women be able to be as complicated and as messy and hard and difficult and to dance in all of the gray areas that they do, and to have them be the heart of the thing. And pretty immediately when I read the first two scripts and the opening image of Catherine and the extreme acts that she carries out, and then a little bit further on, all of a sudden you're feeling all of this sympathy towards her, and you're beginning to understand why she's doing what she's doing. I think is just it's a gift for an actor to have that much to dig into.
There's a lot to dig into. So absolutely. I would love to hear from you. How do you get into a headspace like this? Because she is so complex and her journey is so so challenging. It must have been so difficult.
It's interesting because I just understand that, because like the material itself is difficult and it's also very challenging. But as an actor, that's sort of the gift of it all, is to get to do things like that. And I think, a lot of the groundwork is the material. And luckily enough, we had Liz Merriweather at the helm of it, and she's just extraordinary. And a lot of it was there on the page. And then I had the most intensely talented bunch of collaborators on this. It just made my job 10 times easier and quite pleasurable.
I wanted to ask you about a particular line. It's about your character. It's not from your character. It says she's a victim, but that doesn't make her a good person.
Yeah.
Can you talk about walking that line with her and what that means?
Yeah, I think this show upends the idea of a perfect victim. I think quite often in our society and in TV and film, in order for someone to be worthy of justice or sympathy or any sort of empathy, um, they have to present themselves as morally perfect and good. And of course, none of us are. And if that's the standard that we set, what we're saying is there are some people who do deserve these horrible things to happen to them. And I don't think that that's true. And I think in upending the idea of the perfect victim, what's interesting is we get an audience to come in and they have a very clear idea, maybe, of what their moral lines and boundaries are. And this show nudges them a little bit with each episode until they're maybe justifying or agreeing with, or not completely condemning things that maybe they thought that they would. Um, and the conversations that come from that, I think, are going to be really interesting.
Absolutely. That's why I have it. I'm even having a difficult time getting words out because I just find this show has such intensity to it and it's so raw, but it feels very honest and coming from an honest place. Um, and I wanted to ask you too about the idea of power and control. There's a reference talking about, being that a lot of times with a serial killer of this nature, they're especially women, they're looking for power and control. Can you talk about how that relates to Catherine in this particular series?
Yeah, I mean, when you are forced into situations from a very young age where you have no control and you're completely powerless, it only makes sense that that would be the thing that you seek. And at every avenue of Catherine's life, it sort of feels like the rug is being pulled out from beneath her and she's losing control. Every time she even makes an attempt to have somewhat of a normal life or normalcy, whatever that is, She was denied a childhood. She was denied the opportunity to be herself that was taken from her. At a certain point, her life really stopped, and we'll never know who Catherine could have been had all of this not happened to her. And so, of course, she's going to try to claw that back. Unfortunately, in the circumstances that she finds herself in, it feels near impossible. And that's why she feels forced, into this very extreme position.
Well, having said that, I know we're running out of time, but just before we go, in your mind, without giving anything away, what does hope look like for Catherine?
I think that hope looks like people believing her
Hmm.
and listening to her. And I think hope looks like the conversations that will hopefully happen when the show comes out and when people allow themselves to open up to her and hear her out.
I love that, and honestly, your performance in the show is just stunning.
Thank you so
Um,
much, Pal.
Thank you, and thank you for the time to chat about it. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Pal. Hope you have a lovely day.
You too.